Good morning, Rockland County.
Tina Traster of the Rockland County Business Journal, and good morning to you.
Good morning to everybody, and happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Thank you.
It's a day to have to stop and pause and think about greatness, I think.
So what's up? Talking about greatness?
Yeah. Let's talk about what's going on in Rockland County on the business front. Well, we had a few good stories. We had a nice profile this week on Ann Vine, who
I saw that. Nice, very nice. Congratulations to her.
Yes, she's merging with a larger company and taking some time for herself after a well-deserved career. That she's built something really significant here in the county. So we did a nice piece on her. You might have followed that once again the planning board deadlocked over the Suez application. I must say that it's as good as binge-worthy TV, that those planning board meetings. It was a whole surprise thing with two members flipping from their previous votes, but and the mysterious absence of the chairman, Gil Heim, but it's still deadlocked, and so I think genuinely everybody's waiting to see what the next move is. It's like it's like the season ended, and now we're waiting to see what happens when it comes back next season.
Who shot JR? We all want to know.
That's right. So there's a lot of drama there. We also had some intel, and we reported on over at the Palisades Center. Barnes & Noble is very likely going to downsize from its 25,000 plus square foot location at the mall to a space on the first floor near the Best Buy for about half the amount of space it has now, which seems consistent with what's going on with Barnes & Noble. We discussed that, I think, 2 weeks ago when I talked about indie bookstores, and I explained how Barnes & Noble's been bought by the UK bookseller Waterstones, and how they're planning to downsize, close some locations, and treat their bookstores in a more localized sort of way, almost taking a page, no pun intended, from the indies, the independent bookstores. But anyway, what's supposed to, malls shake up their tenants all the time, and people are certainly wondering what is going to happen with the Palisades Mall. But we had one little piece of reporting that in place of Barnes & Noble is going to be this, it's called Boda Borg, and it's a reality gaming company. So what does that mean? So it means it's like they create these what they call quests or challenges. It's like team building. A lot of corporate companies use these things where situations or scenarios are created and people work on teams against each other. They're called quests or challenges that are meant to challenge people's mental and physical fortitude. And this Bodeborg has it started out in Sweden, and it only has its other American location in Massachusetts, outside of Boston, where, and this is what's interesting, I think. They started out in a place called Malden, I think. Yeah, Malden, Massachusetts. And what happened is, in this town, which I think is part of the suburban ring of Boston, a whole bunch of other gaming companies have sprung up, so it's helped transform this town into a gaming center. Now, why that's interesting is if in fact this lease comes through and they really do move into the mall, and that's what my source tells me is due to happen, with the Palisades wanting to shift its focus to entertainment because retail is so vulnerable. And because this is like the whole, not the Holy Grail, but the thinking is that you got to shift to entertainment, hotels, conventions, and residential. That's the future of the mall, any mall. Look at the American dream. So the interesting thing to me about this particular outfit is that they've been able to create something larger in Malden, which is suburban. And, I wonder if in fact they do come to the mall, the Palisades Center will be able to capitalize on something like that and have these kind of unique gaming assets to, to enhance what it does. Some of the, so I think it's interesting. We're certainly going to watch this. I have some intel on some other companies that are allegedly coming to the mall, and as I learn about them, I will report on them. But certainly, I think the Palisades Center is looking to shake up its tenant mix. So, has anybody ever seen these reality gaming companies?
I haven't seen that. I've seen different versions of gaming and team building type of stuff, but not the specific one you're talking about.
Yeah, well, look it up. Or take a look at my story. It's kind of interesting. And then in this place called Malden, apparently it spurred other places called Bit Bar, 8D Room Escape, and Board Games, Waynu Gaming Cafe. Like 4 or 5 different outfits all started to open up in the downtown in this area, and so they call it the gaming district. And then when you have a district that specializes in something, what starts to happen is you get more restaurants to open up, and more retail starts to come, and coffee shops, and all the stuff that supports something that seems very viable, economically viable.
You seem to have plenty of restaurants in the Palisades Center.
There's definitely, but the kind of restaurants, in the Palisades Center might not represent kind of the new iteration of fast casual or, specialized or healthier foods. So there's probably room, I would say, on the food front for the Palisades to find some growth. Because a lot of those old, those big family-style restaurants are also going to, go the way of some of the obsolete retailers. So, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to, I think anything can really, anything can light a match to bring on some positive change, and maybe this will, and maybe it won't. But we will definitely watch it and stay on top of it. I did speak to the CEO of Boda Borg. He wouldn't deny or confirm that they're coming to the Palisades Center, but he said he had been to the center recently, and he was positive about it. So, we'll see what happens.
Who was that?
I said we'll see what happens.
No. Who? Which CEO of which company?
Oh, of Boda Borg.
And what is that?
That's the gaming.
Oh, that's the gaming company. Oh, I'm sorry.
They started out in Sweden. They have how many? They have several in Europe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not a done deal yet. You're saying no.
Well, according to my source and documents that I've seen, it appears to be that they are taking this particular space where the Barnes and Noble is.
Mm-hmm.
If this, it's
a big space.
What?
It's a big space.
It's 25,358 square feet.
Wow. Hey, by the way, I don't want to deter you. We have to go. We had a lot of stuff before the crossroads of Rockland comes on. But a lady said what Rockland, a caller just called and said what this county needs is a curtain store.
Okay, she must be looking for curtains or something.
Yeah, she says no.
Well, Bed Bath & Beyond is closing. What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
It really is sad. I mean, yesterday I was looking for just some basic kitchen items, right? And I wanted a store with like really deep selection for kitchen items, but I also wanted service in that store. Where was I supposed to go?
Wait, isn't there the place that shops at Nanuet? Isn't there? There's a kitchen utensil store there, isn't there?
Yeah, Sur La Table.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't. It's not, the selection is not that deep. There was a time like when.
How deep do you need to go beyond? Seriously,
Well,
if you got to go deeper than that, you have to go to the internet.
Well, but that's the problem, is that there used to be, I remember when I first moved here, there was a kitchen store in Piermont, a little kitchen store where does anybody remember that? Where the service was so personal.
Yeah, but if it's a little kitchen store, it's not going that deep.
Except that they can get you something, or you can have a conversation with. I don't know. But yeah, we've lost the the specialization of retail.
Amen.
We have to.
I don't know if I'm thinking, if you can't find it at a store like the one you just mentioned up at Shops in Nanuet, you don't really need what you're looking for.
Well, real quickly, because I do have to stop. But
everyone needs a spatula. I mean, how am I going to make an omelet?
how are the shops doing overall? Do you think, real quickly, because we do have
Shops
to.
in Nanuet?
Yeah.
Oh, I think they're in trouble.
Okay. You're
think-
not the first person who's told me. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, it's the same scenario over there where the Sears buildings and whatever happens with the second floor of Macy's and whatever replaces Fairway, it's going to be the same sort of thing where it can't just be more of the same.
Wait a minute.
Different elements.
Fairway's gone?
Yeah, they closed.
Oh, I didn't
they
realize
closed.
they closed. I thought they were just in protection, Chapter
No,
11.
they closed.
No. They're gone. That is a darkened location.
And they
now.
closed quickly too. It's not like they even had.
Mercy.
They moved everything that they had to nearby stores. They didn't even try to sell out the stuff.
Yeah, so you've got just like the Palisades Center has hulking, J.C. Penney, Lord and Taylor, empty. Okay, and the same thing around the malls of Nanuet, shops of Nanuet. You've got Fairway empty, the two Sears buildings, the Sears building and the auto parts building, and the second floor of Macy's. I mean, that is a ton of space.
They'll find a way to convert that to housing somehow, and then you can just roll out of bed and go to the food stores just like they did in the old days.
That's the point. Is that what's happening? That was the point of my explaining the gaming industry here this morning. Is that what's going to drive any kind of change is something other than the same kind of retail that we've seen for the last 20 years, 15, 20 years.
Yep.
Well, listen, to keep in touch with everything that you talk about here and more that we didn't get a chance to talk about, just go online to rcbizjournal.com, right?
You got it, rcbizjournal.com.
Bizjournal.com. Tina, thanks. We'll talk to you next week.
Have a great week.